Welcome to the Black Sparrow Media Internet Broadcast Network.
You are listening to Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a podcast about Linux, open source, and amateur radio for everyone. Now here are your hosts, Cheryl, W5MOO, and Bill, NE4RD.
Well, hello and welcome back to Linux in the Ham Shack, episode number 606 from the most terrific podcast on the internet.
Yeah, that's it.
Something like that.
Something like that.
And before we get started with our episode here, we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Bill, NE4RD.
And I'm Cheryl, W5MOO.
And we're missing a voice here. And that's what we're going to start with tonight. We're going to start with a little bit of where we are with the podcast and where we're going. And then we have some topics. So we're going to kind of have a short topics episode. We're going to just kind of work through this and talk about it. So let's start with Cheryl. Why don't you go ahead and get us up to date with what's going on in Missouri right now?
Okay, so for those that have not seen my posts on Facebook and are not friends of mine on Facebook, Russ, K5TUX, got sick on December 27th. He was taken to the hospital via ambulance on the 29th, and he was basically sent directly to the intensive care unit where he succumbed to the flu on January 14th, which was the day before my birthday. He has become a silent key. So I said I wasn't going to cry.
That's okay. Yes, we are. We're all at a loss for losing Russ, and he'll be sorely missed in the community. We've heard many words from our friends and fellow podcasters and many people about the impact that Russ has had over the years in Linux in the Ham Shack. And the things we don't talk about much is the impact that he's had in his own personal life, because he's had many years with Cheryl and many years on this planet. And he's a wonderful guy. And he's going to be sorely missed, especially by Cheryl, myself, and all of those that loved and appreciated him.
Yep. So yeah, Bill has come to try to figure out Russ's wiring of the computers and lights and stuff around the house. In fact, he just got back to Montana 24 hours ago from spending a week here. So. It's been an interesting experience, and a lot of people have asked, are you going to continue with the podcast? Yep, we're here right now. And so today is the start of something new, something different. Bill and I have kind of talked about it. Lots of things are still up in the air, but yeah, podcast is continuing on effective today. Hamvention is happening. We are on our way to Hamvention, May 15th through the 17th. So we'll definitely be there this year, and we'll probably be there for many years to come. So
yeah, we look forward to seeing you at Hamvention. If you're going to come and see us face to face, that would be awesome. Let me just go over a little bit of the technical things that we've been changing. Some of you may have noticed already. We did change out the website. This was in the plans originally to move the website off of WordPress and move to a statically generated site. So you'll notice that lhspodcast.info is now a statically generated site, and it looks almost the same, but it's a little different. It's not quite perfect. We did save BSM archive, which is basically where the feed has its MP3 files, and I think a few other little shows carry podcast files sitting there that we still have to kind of work out. But for now, that is intact. So any existing feed that would have pointed to BSM archive is still active, and those URLs will be fine. We also got the LHS FYI site back up and running. That is the linking program that we used for all the shortened links. This was kind of critical because when I rebuilt the LHS podcast website, I injected all of the show notes directly into the actual episodes. So if you go back and look at our podcast feed and you look at an episode, if you don't have it cached or something like that, you can actually see the show notes that you would normally go into the show notes area on the website and look at it separately. They're actually in each episode now. So I was trying to preserve the show notes directly into the episodes so you can see them in the feed, and then also preserve the links so those all are functional and can work directly from your modern podcast app. And speaking of the modern podcast apps, we did update the feed to have some of the new fields, some of the new tags for the podcasting 2.0 stuff. We already had one funding tag there for our Patreon, and I added another tag for geez, that's all I need to do is drop my phone on my keyboard. I was sitting there looking at it. Yeah, a Lightning wallet is actually on there. So for those of you that are crazy with the boosting and sending satoshis and whatnot, technically now you can send satoshis to LHS podcast. So that's there. What else? So some of the stuff I have not quite recovered yet. I do have all the servers. The servers I installed this morning. Well, I didn't install. I placed them. I placed them in my office this morning. So they're all there. I'm going to hook them up probably tomorrow afternoon and kind of start going through those. I'm going to get I got to get some email accounts first restored, and then after that, I'll work on the Minecraft servers because we want those preserved as well, and we'll probably get those back up and on the online, so those are accessible. We had two Minecraft servers, one at minecraft.lhspodcast.info, and I think we had the other one at minecraft.bluecows.com for the other server that I think most of us kind of had migrated to play around with. So a little new world and stuff like that. So I'll probably be getting those as well. A little bit lower priority. Obviously, we got to get our Etherpad too. So we're currently using a borrowed Etherpad right now for doing this episode. So we normally use Etherpad for our show notes and stuff like that. And our Etherpad that we were using, it was on an older install. I know Russ has talked about this numerous times on the podcast, and it's a version of Etherpad that is not technically upgradable. And the new Etherpad, for some reason, we never went with it, but I've been looking at the new one and looking at some of the options, and we make it almost look like the one we have and probably be pretty functional. Like we're using a borrowed one right now, and it's fine except for the fact that connecting to it is not great. It's kind of acted up on us a little bit earlier. We're like, I hope I still have it cached on my computer downstairs. Let me go get that. So that's kind of like all the technical bits. If there is something that was possibly running that Russ had set up for somebody and is down now, and you haven't passed a message to myself or Cheryl about that, I can recover your data and hand it over to you if you want to run it yourself. If you need help getting it running or need a temporary home, I can take care of that for you as well. If you have a mail account specifically that I need to recover, please let me know. I know I see a couple of things in there for Ted and maybe a couple of others. So so just let me know if there's something that is not working, that was working, and that you need the data for, and we'll take care of that. So as for the future of the podcast, as Cheryl said, we're here now. We're going to be here in the future, and we're here. The format. It might be very fluid over the next few episodes until we kind of work out exactly how we want to do it and how we want to go into topics and stuff like that. We're going to continue, obviously, the topics that we've already done. Linux, open source, ham radio, Those are our areas of focus, and also getting you on the air and using your, Linux PC to get ham radio ready. We're going to continue with that. Yeah, and we have a unique perspective now because we're going to be having Cheryl get more and more involved in amateur radio and using the Linux computer for amateur radio. So we're going to have some new insight on getting to learn stuff from some fresh eyes and stuff like that. So I'm sure you're ready to learn all this stuff.
New insight is also known as dumpster fire. Got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty. Well, now that we covered that, let's kind of move into our topics for discussion tonight. We have quite a few topics here. I picked a few, and I see Cheryl throwing in a topic there. I don't know if you want to start with this first one. It's kind of, if you can kind of put it together in some kind of, some sense of a paragraph. I know it's all bullet points, and I didn't go through and re-summarize stuff, so we're kind of just winging it tonight. So why don't you go ahead and take that first topic there?
Okay, so our first topic is about HamClock having an open backend. As most people know, HamClock died, but this means that HamClock really didn't die. So there's been a self-hostable backend replacement created for HamClock, restoring live propagation data, maps, feeds. The software is free to use and download. They're not taking donations at this time. That leads me to believe that that might be something in the future. OHB currently proxies VOA CAP and PSK Reporter. All other feeds and maps are generated locally. Backend selection remains user-controlled. What's a backend? Question mark. It's how HamClock got all of its data. Without a separate backend, all HamClocks will cease to function by June 2026. So, if you're using HamClock, that's information that you need to be aware of. Drop-in compatible with existing HamClocks. No firmware changes are required. OHB requires faithful replacements for the data feeds and map assets that HamClock depended on, built by operators for operators. All maps are generated on self-hosted hardware, and the project is not affiliated with HamClock or its creator, Elwood Downey. We extend our sincere condolences to the Downey family because he committed suicide, I believe, recently. So all this information came from github.com, and the rest of that will be in the show notes, obviously. So
yeah, so they'll actually have a server, and I think this is kind of still fluid. I believe I just saw another posting today, so there's some newer news, but essentially all you'll have to do is change out your host line file that points to the old site, and you can point it to the new site, and most of everything should work just fine in your existing HamClock. So what they mean is you won't have to recompile it or anything else like that. You can actually just change out the config file, and it'll point to the new back end. Now, in the meantime of all this other stuff, I had seen a couple other people sort of create derivatives or similar looking products, and I did experiment with one on my other box, but I don't have that plugged in right now, so I can't remember what it's called. But it ran on Node, and everything was self-hosted, including the front end, back end, everything. It was complete, and it was getting updated. So I'll probably talk about that one next episode, and I'm sure other people have tried out other things, because as this news story broke, there was a lot of various things occurring. There was both, people trying to figure out how to replace the back end, like this product did, and then others trying to replace the whole thing. I like the idea of replacing the whole thing myself, only because HamClock was kind of weird in how it did its rendering, and how it did its web UI as well was kind of also weird, because it locked into at least the last version I tried, locked into a certain resolution, which is not conducive to viewport and stuff like that on the web. So I was really interested in one that was completely web driven. So next episode, I will probably talk about that one, because I'll find my links and stuff like that. So the next article we have here is sort of a hodgepodge of some legalese. There's a lot of people have been talking about this over the last couple of weeks here. This one is specifically in relationship to the news out of California about the Digital Age Assurance Act. And this is basically, age gating software. This is preventing the Ute, our famous Ute of America, from being able to access applications like social medias and hey, even Discord, right? Because if you haven't heard, Discord was going to age gate the software and use a third party to do ID verification, but there was so much outrage and pushback that they have pushed back that as well. And so here's some of the language from this Digital Age Assurance Act out of California. And this specifically relates to the operating system and what the operating system is supposed to do. An operating system, this is part, I don't know what they call these parts and stuff like that, but this is 1798.501. The operating system provider shall do all of the following. Number one, they should provide an accessible interface at account setup that requires an account holder to indicate the birth date, age, or both of the user of that device for the purpose of providing a signal regarding the user's age bracket to applications available in a covered application store. Application store, yes. Provided number two, provide a developer who has requested a signal with respect to a particular user with a digital signal via a reasonably consistent real-time application programming interface, API, that identifies at a minimum which of the following categories that pertains to the user. Under 13, at least 13, and under 16, at least 16, and under 18, and at least 18 years of age. Number three, send only the minimum amount of information necessary to comply with the title and shall not share the digital signature information with a third party for a purpose not required by the title. And there goes into a little bit deeper discussion with that. And then let's see here. 1798.502. With respect to a device for which an account setup was completed before January 1st, 2027, which happens to be the date that this act goes into effect if it doesn't get deemed unlawful by the courts, an operating systems provider shall, before July 1st, 2027, provide an accessible interface that allows an account holder to indicate its birth date and age at the user's, blah, 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 blah. So essentially, age gating an operating system. Not going to happen. I don't think it's even possible in the landscape of Linux and specifically inside of servers. I mean, can you imagine, Cheryl? How do you handle accounts on servers?
I have no idea.
I mean, some of those are like fake users.
Right, exactly.
When was the network time protocol born? Let's go figure that one out. And when was the DHCPD service born? It's ludicrous. So this actually did get signed by the governor, and in the state of California, there is currently a bill in Colorado that is basically the same bill, Senate Bill 26-051. And there was even through Twitter, Midnight BSD, which is a BSD distribution I haven't heard of yet, but they made a statement on X / Twitter, and they say, quote, until we have a better plan, we modified our license to exclude residents of California from using Midnight BSD for desktop use effective January 1st, 2027. And at least right now, that is their stance. So I'm interested in what you all think about this. This is definitely a very fluid thing. Lots of companies and applications are kind of going through this. I know it's being hit hard at social media stuff. I'm sure you've heard of the court case over there in LA. I believe it's in LA about social media being sued right now, Cheryl.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so Mark Zuckerberg took the stand as a witness, not as a defendant, but I believe as a witness. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in social media and how it's a poison to children and everything else. And that's kind of all sort of, it's expanding its reach into other areas, which may negatively impact open source and the Linux and Windows, Mac OS, and things that we love to enjoy. And really, we don't want that kind of specific identification information available to apps that you put on your computer, your phone, maybe not necessarily. Like, I don't really. I mean, I know when you. Yeah, I mean, when you install an app on your phone, it knows everything about you already. Age is the one thing that it's considered a personally identifying personal PII, right? Personally identifying information. Yeah, personally identifying information. Let's try to remember the acronym. PII. Yeah, and if it's available via API, if you install some nefarious application, it has your name, has your birth date, probably can just geolocate you to your state. I mean, you have enough information to probably open up a bank account and probably scour the internet for your social security number and start taking out loans in your name and stuff like that. So I'm sure you really want even more PII on your device and perhaps on your desktop. So yeah, I'd be really interested to see what people have to say about this. We did have some chatter in the general chat room today about it. I know Shenanigans Unlimited there, W4DPE was chatting about it, and Mike, I love Mike's statement. Mike KJ6LNH said, "WTF? Required H statements at the OS level. All apps must ask for the info from the OS. Please tell me I've gone insane. I already know that my state is insane." He must be a true Californian. So. Yeah, this is definitely one to watch. It's definitely one that's going to have some serious impact to everything. So keep your eyes out and let us know what you think. Send us some feedback at info@lhspodcast.info or join us in the Discord and talk to everybody else about it because it definitely seems like an interesting topic. So what's the next topic, Cheryl?
So Ubuntu 26.04 LTS sudo shows password length. So Ubuntu switched to sudo-rs, a rewrite of the decades-old C version in Rust back in October of this last year. You can still run sudo as the command, which made that switch invisible to most. The asterisks are new in 26.04 specifically. Canonical cherry-picked a patch from upstream sudo-rs to use the password feedback by default. It will not affect legacy sudo, which is sudo.ws. And this info came from omgubuntu.co.uk. And of course, the rest of the link will be in the show notes.
Yeah. So, yeah, always before, like when you had sudo, you would just do sudo and then your command, and then you would type in your password and you wouldn't see any feedback at all. Cause like the rule has always been never echo back anything when you're typing in your password, because, people looking over your shoulder can say, oh, it's a short password, it's only 10 characters or 5 characters or whatever. It gives them information about the password length, which is not something that we technically would want someone looking over your shoulder to know or somebody sniffing the wire to know. So, yeah, most people think this is really bad security-wise and thinks this is a step backwards. So I would assume that a lot of people will probably link back in the old sudo, the legacy sudo, so that they don't use this. And yeah, so 2510, you already had the Rust version of the sudo, so you probably experienced it. I don't think I've even run 2510 on anything yet, but yeah, we'll take a look at 2604 when it comes out. I have thumb drives here for the Hamvention booth, and I will try as soon as 2604 to come out to kind of throw together a quick LHS podcast disc like we've done in the past. So that will be available on there, as well as a few cherry-picked distributions, and they'll already be pushed onto all the onto all the thumb drives, so we don't have to replicate when I get there. Yeah, we'll get that done ahead of time, and we'll bring the replicators should you just want to have your own stick and want to be replicated to whatever we're handing out. And I believe the sticks are 32 gig.
Yes.
I was just going to reach down because I actually have them right next to me. 32 gig.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
they're
Yeah.
30. They're 30. Yeah.
Yep, 32 gig. So that's the size they are. So that's the size image we're going to be writing. We'll definitely do iVentoy or Ventoy again. So it'll have the multi-boot ISO application there. And yeah, so if you're looking for anything specific on there that we haven't put in the past, let me know and I will get it on to the stick or into the distribution. So the next topic here is Gridtracker 2 having some auto update issues. Note to everyone running Gridtracker 2 version 2.250.809. Okay, big version number.
Yeah, exactly.
Year, month, and day on that. So it must be from August 9th, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
And
sure.
yeah, they say due to issues with the Electron code, yes, Electron is evil, this version will not auto update. You will need to download the latest from the website and install it on your system. The latest version is always located at gridtracker.org, and we'll have that in the show notes. So we'll shorten it up and give you a quick link to it. Once that is installed, your system should auto update when new versions are released. A couple of warnings: do not uninstall or delete your current version prior to installing the latest one. You will lose your configuration settings. They should probably fix that so that it preserves any user stuff. But anyway, when prompted during installation, install only for your username and not for everyone. Okay, that makes sense. 73. So those that came from Randy KA0AZS on the group's IO mailing list for Gridtracker 2, which I'm not a member of. So thank you, Cheryl, for finding this in the mailbox and letting us all know. Alrighty, so that gets us. That's the end of the topics. So that gets us into announcements. And yeah, this is normally where we thank you for your Patreon and point you over to the store for shopping merchandise. I will let you know that we shut down the shop.lhspodcast.info. We're currently kind of reviewing some various options for merch, but we do have a Teespring shop up right now that I created and made some shirts for myself a couple of years ago. So that's available, and that's right at the merchandise on the link on the website. But yeah, we did want to take a moment here, and Cheryl's going to go over a list of our Patreons that we're really happy that you guys are continuing to support our podcast, especially through this time. It's definitely very helpful. We're definitely going through a little bit of expenses trying to move everything around, renew domains, and kind of put stuff on different boxes and into the cloud. So we're definitely incurring some additional expenses, and your support is very much appreciated. But Cheryl's going to go ahead and recognize everyone that has continued to support us. As late as February until today. So go ahead, Cheryl.
Yeah. Okay. So as Bill said, our members that didn't stop supporting us, and I know there were a few of you, and I understand why you didn't know what was going on, but the ones that are still supporting us and have paid through today are W4DPE, Poul Kongstad, Eyegor, JohnnyK, Brad, Chuck Hailbronner, Rodney Underkoffler, Joel Brower, Ken Betenia, John Julian, Sterling, N0SSC, Raymond W Ritch, Chantz, KB7YS, Reginald Addo, Steve Anness, Gary Tibbetts, also known as AE1TG, Douglas Shock, K6GTE Mike, Robert, K5PDC, David Jaquay? Is that how we figured out his name a couple of years ago?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Jaquay or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. CubicleNate, Steve Metcalf, BikeMe, Paul Griffith, and Donald Gover. So those are our Patreons, our paid members for Patreon. And of course we have our free Patreons. So, and if you want to become a paid member, I believe it's as low as $1. So
yeah, it's like $1 or $2 a month or something like that. So, and
every
little bit helps. It allows us to come to Hamvention every year. Allows us to pay for the services and servers and hosting and everything else that we incur. And when we do go to Hamvention, we pay our own rate to get there. So the podcast
Right.
doesn't pay that part. We just pay for the hotel and we pay for the booth with the podcast. So we definitely take all of that ourselves. So yeah. Don says he's wondering why his is stopped. So he's going to take a look at it. Great. Thanks, Don. Yeah. So yeah, any way you can help out the podcast, we'd love to see you in Hamvention. Come see us, come listen to the show. If you have a podcast app and can give us a rating somewhere, give us a rating. Everything's appreciated. Anything, time, talent, treasure, any of those options are great. This is definitely, as they say, a value for value podcast. If you appreciate what we're doing and want to continue to see us being able to do it, please help support us with whatever you can. Alrighty, so now we're over to the social media roundup, and again, we're kind of being fluid with this, so we might have the same order as we did last time. We don't have all the social media accounts kind of wrapped up yet. We're still kind of going through,
moved around and looking.
Yeah. So we won't have those for you right now. I do have. I think I have all the command line stuff to do the keys. To post stuff because I did find all the scripts to do that, but I'll have to go through and find everything else. So we'll catch up with that. But we did want to take a moment to thank the individuals by name that have kind of reached out on the side and connected with Cheryl, personally after Russ's death in January. And I was looking through the list, and most of these people also contacted me. So I'll go ahead and let Cheryl just kind of go through the list, and thank you for contacting us.
Yes, thank you very much. So I've heard from Stephen S., Aaron King, Scott Pettigrew, Pete Landry, Jill Kleinsmith, Tony Coverly, Joe Eisenberg, C.W. Tillman, Gene Anderson, Rich Gordon, Bethlyn Eicher, Dylan Engel, Karen Murray, Michael Golden, Christopher John, Steve Metcalf, John Mad Dog Hall, Tom Applelenek, I think I butchered that, Tom Foy, Bill Barnes, Ed Wilson, Donald Gover, Richard Bailey, and Ilan Rabinovic, which he's part of the Southern California scale, whatever the acronym is for that. So
yeah, Southern California area Linux
enthusiasts.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah,
I think they're having a conference real soon.
Probably now, maybe this weekend, maybe next weekend. I know it's coming up really super quick. Yeah, so. And tonight,
look it up. Right?
Okay, yeah. And tonight for our live chat participants, we had Tucker, which is KJ5NIT, and Don, KB2YSI.
Let's see. Scale returns to Pasadena March 5th through 8th, 2026. So
next weekend,
be next weekend. So yeah, get your tickets and go.
Yeah. Sorry, we didn't advertise it before now. So.
Yeah, and then on my side of the world, let's see, Linux Fest Northwest is coming up. I think it's next month, right? Let's see, Linux Fest Northwest is, April 26th. That sounds right? Late.
Is it? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, April 24th to the 26th.
Mid to late April, so.
Yeah. I know I always have to balance going to it because, I have to go to Hamvention as well. So it's
3 weeks later, Hamvention.
Yeah, so it's a little too much traveling, unless I can get to work to say, hey, yeah, you need to go to this Linux conference over here in Washington, which I would love to go to. But I don't think that's going to be a possibility. So I don't think I have anything else. Cheryl, do you have anything else for this episode?
No. I don't think so.
Well, with that, we thank you all for listening to this episode number 606 of Linux in the Ham Shack, and we look forward to seeing you next time and talking to you and answering any of your feedback that you have from this episode.
Yes.
And until then, I'm Bill, NE4RD.
And I'm Cheryl W5MOO.
And I guess I'll say 73.
73. Yeah. That's always you.
I know. That's the weird part, right? I have to do.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a community-sponsored podcast. Live recordings are Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Central Time. Our homepage can be found at lhspodcast.info. You can support the podcast via Patreon at patreon.com/LHS podcast. We're also on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and Mastodon. Contact us via email at info@lhspodcast.info or via voicemail at 190954777469. That's 1909 LHS show. We also have merch. So until next we meet, remember to always heed your hedonism.